What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with Liberty Hill Comics. Welcome, everybody, to the 73rd episode of the Comic Book Conservators. Back with your regular host, Sunday night. You know what time it is? It's time to conserve some comics. How you guys doing?
Oh, good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's
awesome.
It's Sunday evening, man. It's time to hang out with my friends and throw back some blue milk, like Star Wars style. And I'm glad you guys are with me.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I've been here. I think I was talking to you guys during the week. I was traveling all over the place. I was in Istanbul and Dubai, and I just spent 31 hours trying to get home, and I got home yesterday. So here I am.
Bananas.
Yeah,
bananas.
It was definitely bananas.
Glad to have you here.
Yep.
That is Captain Larry. He of Flying L Comics. Find him on Instagram. Find him here on YouTube, where he's dropping some videos lately.
Yeah, I've got
some of your recent content.
Well, I got some more stuff on standby right now that I think people have been waiting for me to get wrapped up. So I've dropped that.
Wrap up some series.
Yeah, I got the one I've been working on. It was at One Planet Comics. The cover was glued, and it was split, glued to the interior. So I've done a few of those. So I'm wrapping this one up. So it was leaf casted back together, and it's actually in the heat press right now. So
nice.
I'll be finishing that. I'll get that out pretty soon.
Very nice.
But I got a couple other stuff. I've got some stuff I've been working on. I've just got stacks of stuff that I'm not making content with. I'm just trying to get it out the door. So for every one you see content on, I got 5 more. Yeah, it's just crazy.
It's time consuming to create that content.
It is. It takes a lot of time. I don't think people realize they may watch it for 20 minutes, but it takes hours to put these things together.
Yeah. So. I can conserve a comic in a day unless I want to put together content for it. Then it's 3 days.
Yeah.
That's my excuse for not having any.
Yeah. I don't see how Phil could ever have one.
Eventually, it has to be intuitive, where I just push a button and I don't have to go out of my way to do anything, and I already have something, recording. So
that's Phantom Phil. He of Phantom Restoration. Check him out, phantomrestoration.com, or on Instagram. How was your week, Phil?
Hey, very relaxing. Caught up on a bunch of work, but I got to go out and see a bunch of friends, and the weather's just been so gosh darn terrific. And hey, no complaints.
It's actually been kind of hot here. I've been putting off a few outdoor chores because it's just so. We had a mild. For us, we had a mild summer, so I guess this is what we get. We get that first few weeks of fall still in the 90s. Right. Well, let's do some housekeeping, say hi to everybody, and let's get started. So firstly, we want to thank Collecting Chaos, Don Carter, Salesboy Comics, and Archivist Adrift. Thank you to those gentlemen for sponsoring this episode. If you are watching this live with us right now, you're watching it ad-free, thanks to them. So give them a thanks, give them a shout out, check out their channels, please support them. We very much appreciate that.
Yeah, Jason, I'm not buying up all of your books. I'll leave some for you.
I think Jason thinks he's in competition with us.
Well, if he wants to take over traveling and I can sit and work on comic books, I will be happy to do that.
Fair enough, right? Hi, Rom Space Knight. What's going? Mike says, go Packers. Collecting Chaos is here. Salesboy is here, keeping it moist. Jason, the Archivist Adrift, is here. Says all sports suck. The Professor, Peter Alachi. How are you? Hope you had a great week of school. I know he's very busy right now. He's got a big workload with classes.
Students,
yeah. Morris Devereaux. Hello. Don Carter's here. AG's here. Welcome, AG. And we got Vulu, JCP. All the regulars are in the house. I am Starman. What's up, David? Haven't seen you in a little while here in the show. All right. Well, we got our highs, we got our hellos, we got our updates. Let's jump into comic books. What do you guys say?
Hey, let's do it.
Here's a comic that was hot going into that movie starring some dude named The Rock. It's cooled off a little bit. I would love to own a copy of this
I didn't even see it.
Oh, the movie wasn't great. I thought The Rock was good in it. I loved that we got to see Dr. Fate in on the big screen, on the silver screen. Yeah, I wish it was a stronger movie. Nevertheless, I would love a copy of this book. I think this is a book that sat in obscurity for, 60 years. And then when DC relaunched JSA and made Black Adam a major element of the story in the 2000s, this book became more relevant. And then, of course, with the movie, it became kind of a big key for a minute. Again, it's sold off a little bit. We'll talk about that. But like I said, I would love a copy of this book. Sadly, we're talking about the first appearance of Black Adam. Black Adam is not on the cover. And I think that hurts it a little bit, makes it a little less fun. But nevertheless, a big book. Hey, Jeff. Glad to have you here. So, Marvel Family 1. Although the characters here... Captain Marvel Jr., Mary Marvel, and what's his name? Uncle Marvel? Potbelly Marvel?
Fat Marvel.
Beer Belly
mustache
Marvel.
Marvel.
They apparently had encountered one another in the books prior, but this was the first time they actually sort of interacted as a team. And so it is considered the first appearance of the Marvel family, like as a team. It's also, as I mentioned, the first appearance of Black Adam. It also has the origin of the Black Adam and the origin of the Marvel family as well. So it's got a lot going on. It is, as I stated, a Golden Age key book. It is interestingly the first and only Golden Age appearance of Black Adam. So this is his first appearance. Note, Black Adam does not have a cover appearance in the Golden Age at all, because this is his first and only appearance in the Golden Age. He doesn't appear on the cover. He also does not have an appearance in the Silver Age, cover or otherwise. He's brought back in the Bronze Age once DC has the rights to the Fawcett characters, and it's then that he gets his second cover. Nevertheless, this here sort of splash panel or half splash from the lead story. Yeah, I mean, this would have made a great cover, wouldn't it?
Yeah, should have been the heck of a lot.
And then what would this book be worth if this was the cover of the book? I think quite a bit more. In today's day and age where it's all about slabbing, you buy Sure, you can buy a Golden Age book, you can put it on the wall, you can flex when your friends come over, but if they have to ask you what it is and why anyone cares, and you have to say, oh, well, it's Black Adam's first appearance, but he's not on the cover.
Yeah.
It's like Doctor Strange. First Doctor Strange, he's nowhere near the cover.
Doctor Strange Tales 110 syndrome.
Yeah.
Womp, womp, womp.
All-Star 8 as well.
Yeah. Hey, Flash 86 too. My dad makes fun of that cover. So he's like, that stupid dinosaur cover is worth money. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Hey.
Yeah, it was very common in the Golden Age to not have great covers. Like Joker's not on the cover of his first appearance. So when you do get a Golden Age book where the first appearance also is the first cover appearance, those tend to be the money books. Obviously, Action 1 is the standard for that, and Tech 27. But Cap 1, I think, punches above its weight class because he's on the cover as well. But I digress. So anyway, cool villain, kind of cool origin. It has his origin. He's bestowed with more or less the same powers as Captain Marvel, but he's much stronger. As a matter of fact, he's stronger than the entire Marvel family. They're literally all taking turns beating on him at the same time, and he's laughing at them. It's like the Superman cover where the bullets are bouncing off and he says, it tickles. So he was clearly a formidable foe. They basically had to trick him, kind of Mr. Mxyzptlk style, to get rid of him because he was not a foe that they could defeat physically. Hey, Gorilla Monkey 3K, welcome to the show. Jim, welcome, Bronzeville Comics. Good to have you all here. So, what are we talking about in terms of rarity / commonality of this book? Universal, 152 in the census. I wouldn't be shocked if there weren't some nice raws floating around of this book. It just hasn't been super valuable for very long. In fact, it's by some standards, it's still not super valuable. So at 152 slabbed in Universal, this is actually a relatively available Golden Age book, if that makes sense. I would say, in terms of Golden Age census populations, there aren't that many, over 200 or so. So this is a book that is available. Nevertheless, median grade at 4.0, it's not really available in the higher grades. You see the census there is
drops off.
Yeah, really drops off. There's a bump at 7.5, and there's a handful of copies at 8, a handful of I don't even know if you call it a handful, a few copies at 8 at 9.0. But it's a book that in those higher grades does definitely command a serious premium. But you see the bulk of the population is here in the low to mid grades. Sorry, did I cut you off, Larry?
No, I was going to say what caught my eye was the high amount of restored copies of this. Yeah, that's a 7.3%. That's a good chunk of the population that's restored.
True,
usually it's just one or two.
True, and I wouldn't be surprised if those weren't sort of accidentally receiving restored grades, because this movie was coming out right at the time when a lot of people were messing around with some, let's say, conservation techniques, not very carefully, right? And a lot of books came back with purple labels in that period.
It's true.
Because I don't know where the money would have been 5 or 10 years ago when, or really restoration was in vogue 15 or 20 years ago. And this
still first appearance. So, I mean, you can understand why, just like, there's other first appearance books that are more, like you see more restoration of Batman 1 than Batman 2, but.
Sure. But we're talking about a book that isn't even worth, worth 10% of what that's my point. And that's today. 5-10 years ago, this book wasn't even worth 2% of what Batman 1 is worth, right?
I mean, they'd say Captain Marvel outsold Superman. Maybe there really is this underlying group of rabid Captain Marvel fans that a lot of us don't know about, and that compensates.
Secret society of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have the.
Well, there's a lot of folks in our community that really like the Fawcett books and
that's
Captain
true.
Marvel. I mean, we've got Jerry the Jitterbug, and famously, right? We have definitely others. We have fans in this channel.
I mean, do you think it's possible that this book is a book that, in the same way where 25, 30 years ago, you had like the first appearance of Tarzan competing more easily with Superman, where now it's just totally dropped off. Mm-hmm. Equally at the time, Captain Marvel's popularity is probably higher then than it is now, especially if Superman's popularity is kind of, harder to compete with Batman and Wonder Woman and all those other characters. So that could still, maybe it's either those were restored a while ago, or like you said, Paul, they were restored more recently because they were being resubbed now. But
sure.
It is a lot, Larry. You're not wrong about
that. That's what caught my eye. That's just quite a bit.
So I was looking for some relevant copies that sold. A couple sold this past year that aren't too far off our book. Our book is a Conserved 4.5. We're looking for a fair market value for 4.5 universal. And unfortunately, we don't have a sale in the last few years, so we got to do a little homework. This book here caught my eye as really interesting. So this sold not quite in the last 6 months, but this year for $5,520. This is the D copy. This is Crippen's copy.
Crippen, yeah.
In 6.0. Man, nice book. Thank you, Collecting Chaos. Appreciate you. He's here to let us know it's Uncle Marvel, who had no powers and was the manager.
It's the manager.
Thank you. Yeah. He took a cut to manage them. So
you're in a really nice suit.
This is a nice book. 6.0 is no joke. The Davis Crippen copy, the D copy, is also no joke. I feel like somebody got a pretty good price on this year because of historically these books were going for more, let alone getting a pedigree copy. I know it's not super high grade, but nevertheless, I'd be pleased if I had purchased this for this price. That said, that's less than $1,000 a point for a pedigree copy. Here is the most recent copy. This sold just last month, 6 weeks ago or so. $2,900 for a 3.0 non-pedigree, obviously. This one has tape on it. So clearly, even with price compression in the low grades, you're under $1,000 a point in the range that we're interested in, the 4.5 universal. So based on less than $1,000 a point, GPA estimates the value of the 4.5 at $3,500. I used a value of $3,750 because I just thought it was more congruous with the most recent sales. So that is the value that I'm using, that I'm placing as a theoretical fair market value on a 4.5 universal, because we just haven't had a 4.5 universal sell in a few years. I also wanted to point out, and I normally sort of go through some of the data like this, the record paid right around the release of the movie, there were 2 copies that sold for pretty close to, one I think a little over, one a little under, $4,500 for a 4.5. So at one point, this book commanded $1,000 a point. It doesn't quite today, but also that's not a bad drop off, right? If you theoretically say it's worth $3,750, that's a bit of a haircut. But I think if you were buying into the movie, you had to have expected some amount of haircut there, right? So,
well, the rule of thumb is these movie books is offload your books the week before the movie comes out, just in case it's a bomb.
Some have even said dump your books. Some who've studied the price action, sell your books when the first trailer comes out. Because anybody sees the trailer and gets hyped, right?
Well, Madam Web was a perfect example. I mean, I offloaded all my Madam Webs before the movie came out, and I'm so glad that I did.
Did the movie come out? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You got to be invested heavily if you want to wait for that second peak that's going to come around. Because sometimes it can take a decade or longer. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting.
Thanos, I just say that
Thanos books gained steam for a decade, right?
They really did, yeah.
From his first appearance in the post-credit scene to the end of that whole saga, you'd have been smart to hold on. But yeah, I think that's the exception, not the rule. But the takeaway here, everyone, is remember, I'm assigning a $3,750. That's my best estimate If you disagree with me, feel free to leave me a comment. So here's this book of interest to us. It was auctioned off this week. It's sold, and I'm super excited to talk about it.
Structurally, that thing looks like a 9. Jeez.
Right?
That's a good looking book.
What's the back? It's got to be the back cover or something.
It's a 4.5 with off-white pages. It was graded just earlier this year in May. It's conserved, obviously. Published in 45. I guess we haven't talked about that yet. So this is kind of a post-war book. This is the golden age starting really to wind down. Otto Binder, C.C. Beck cover, origin, first appearance of Black Adam, and Uncle Marvel appearance. There he is. Greater notes include spine split, top of spine split, center of spine, chip out right center of front cover.
Why didn't they fix the spine split if you're going to conserve it?
Because maybe they were hoping the reinforcement wouldn't be noticed.
The cover was reinforced, but apparently very gently.
If they didn't do a solid job on reinforcing the cover, it may have split when they folded it. And
this paper's super weak, so yeah, that's possible.
Yeah,
my gut is that this went to get the blue label and it didn't. Otherwise, the rest of the work would have more than likely been. There's no other reason to justify.
It shows nicely though.
It really does. It explains why it's the 4 or 5. I was like, there's got to be spine splits, but it's conserved. And my dumb brain sometimes was looking at the book and not reading the text and seeing the creator's notes. And then I was like, oh, well, that's why. Okay.
So I think what that means to me, if I was evaluating this pre-auction, what that means to me is there's some meat left on the table here.
That's what I'm thinking too. I mean, I would if you're going to conserve it, I might as well take it and put the spine back together.
Right.
Or if you're a purist, you're like, well, it's just detach the cover and then you're going to get probably a 4 or maybe a 3. Well, probably, I mean, it should be a 3-5.
Well, the thing is when they did it, it says cover, conservation is covered reinforced. They must have known when they were reinforcing the cover that it was going to get a conserved grade. So I'm not sure I'll stick with your universal theory.
I've seen enough people submitting books with the intent to get universal label doing stuff at the staple area that is
like tape or something. I don't know.
No, I mean incredibly thin pieces of mending tissue. Things that are it's they're hoping the cover won't be opened all the way.
Somebody might miss it.
It's one of those things where it's possible if this book was subbed 5 times, 1 or 2 of those times this comes back universal, 3 or 4 of the times it comes back conserved because it's so small it was noticed this time. That's my gut here. Because
I think somebody was, or that's the most parsimonious explanation. Jason says you can always tell it's one of us and some guy in a basement conserving a book. I actually thought he meant we're all just guys in basements.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And his next comment, no offense to the guys in the basements.
I don't have a basement.
I don't have a basement either, but if I did,
you live in Texas, you can't have a basement in Texas.
So I guess he's just making fun of Jerry.
That's not nice.
Yeah, Jason, I'm gonna tell him.
I'm gonna tell Jerry. You're in trouble now.
I'm pretty sure. Actually, Kenny's also in a basement, isn't he?
No, Kenny is not in a
first floor house.
No, Kenny's above ground.
Oh, he's above ground. Okay.
I just think like the man cave stereotype in a basement,
All right. So there's the book. Let's have a closer look. I think there's probably some meat left on the bone.
Jeff's listening from his basement. Hey, Jeff.
There we go, Jeff. To your point, I mean, look how nice
this book shows really nice. I would be inclined to crack it and really conserve it proper.
Conserve it the rest of the way, yeah. I actually don't think the conservation removal makes sense because, we talk about that later. I'm not sure about this mark on the top of the green book where it says in full color.
I want to say it's ad on the interior side coming through.
Yeah, I didn't look.
Well, if you look at the back cover, printing from the interior of the back cover is really showing through.
Definitely. Let's have a look at that. I guess the chip is around the staple here. Didn't it say chip?
It's on the right side. Just see the purple.
Oh, the tiny one in the book? Oh, no, above
on the right edge.
Yeah.
It's very subtle.
Yeah. Well, it's in the right colors, isn't it? So it doesn't really show itself.
So
here,
right there,
this is, ink from the back cover.
Yeah, they washed the cover and they left it soaking a little bit too long.
Maybe so.
Yeah, it's possible.
But look how nice this is. Little chip there, the bottom left and right, actually.
I don't think you could lighten that at all.
Maybe from the others, maybe.
Well, the thing is with these books, they shed ink like crazy.
No, I wouldn't want to. No, I would want to try to. I'd want to try to lighten that with photo bleaching.
No, not at all.
Which, you might get somewhere with. I think it's worth trying. So there it is. What do y'all think of the book?
I think it shows very nicely on the front. Not really digging the back cover, but I think from the front cover it looks great.
I agree.
The back doesn't bother me because it's sort of like this is what happens to books unless you conserve them.
Yeah.
Maybe you're thinking that it's because it was conserved, but ink bleeds like this a lot of times, whether you do or not.
I don't know. That cover. I think that cover was washed. Honestly, from my experience, I've seen this before. I think it was washed.
So while people put their guesses in, I have a little bit of show and tell.
Okay,
I went to my own collection here. This is from when Dr. Paul was not a doctor, when he was picking up books at the 7-Eleven. This is a newsstand copy of DC Comics Presents number 49, the 60 Center. This, so this is only Black Adam. So first appearance in 1945. This is only his fourth appearance in 1982, nearly 40 years later. And it's only his second cover. This is the second cover appearance of Black Adam, if you can believe that.
Aquaman syndrome.
Sales boy, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Crack it out, moisten it. He says, okay, let's go through the guesses. What do we have? Let's see.
600.
600. Wow.
2,200.
No faith there.
We got a hater over here.
Morris Devereaux's at 2,200. JCP's at 1,800. Hi, JCP, if I didn't say it earlier. Jason, 800? Professor Peters says
something we don't.
3,500. So that's a strong, because we said that the Universal, as a reminder, we said Universal's worth approximately $3,750.
When was the last sale? When was this one sold?
Well, the actual last sale was the $4,500. It was back at the time of
this book.
This book sold this week. It sold in the last week.
All right.
You pluck my last nerves at 600. Salesboy Comics says 5,021. New Row says 1,850. Salesboy says 2,150. Bulu says 2,300. AG says 1,050. Ram says 2,525.
Captain. What are you thinking?
What do you guys got? Where you at?
Well,
again, remember target for the Universal. 3,750.
I don't like the 4.5 grade. I think that's sucked, but yeah, I know it's going to split, but it shows really, really well. And the fact that you were excited about this one kind of tells me it went on the high side. So I'm going to guess. I'm going to say. Somebody said 3,500? Okay, I'm going to say 3,600.
36, honey. Okay.
This is me.
3,200.
It's a slap.
3,200. Okay. And Gorilla Monkey 3K got in at 2,200. So the reveal is, who was the high bidder?
Oh,
did anybody bid 4,000?
well, Larry's pretty damn close.
It literally
3,600.
It literally sold for more than we estimated the value of a Universal. It sold for quite a bit more than Go Collect says the Universal's worth.
Well,
I thought they were underestimating the value just a little bit.
High.
Yeah. Well, I started to say I don't think there's any meat on the bone here to unconserve this book, because I think right. The buyer paid $3,800. Yeah. If you unconserve this and you end up with a 3.5 or even a 4, you haven't created any value.
Well, with the split spine,
the value here is to fully conserve.
Yeah, if you want the split spine, I would hazard to guess that cover is detached at that point, and now you're looking at a maximum of a 3.5 Universal.
Right.
Maximum.
That's what I was being. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Generous. Right. Just saying, like, even your best case, you're underwater, so it makes no sense.
Yeah.
On the other hand, full conservation, why couldn't this book be a 7?
I think it would be about a 6.5 or so. Yeah, I think you could give it a 2-point bump.
I was thinking a 7 ceiling, maybe.
Yeah,
but maybe even a 7.5, because really, I mean, I don't think they downgrade for the.
I'm like at 7 plus or minus 0.5, so we're right on the we're right at the same spot there, Phil.
Maybe I'm supposed to whack it with a cover clean though,
and I think then the value of it is 5,500. I don't know. You've created value, I think, for sure.
Larry, let me ask you this, because I know you've watched quite a few covers, and especially like these faucet covers. Would you say these, especially because we know the paper quality is generally on the lesser side, are these more prone to dimensional changes?
Well, yeah, because it's funny because I've actually worked on 2 in the last week of these faucets, and they were in the water 60 or not even 60, maybe 30 seconds, and they start shedding ink.
Yeah.
And so
you got to move quickly with these.
You got to move quickly. And especially if you have any reds, what comes off is not necessarily the reds, but the interior of the cover, because the interior side, a lot of times they either did black ink on the interior of the cover or red ink. And I don't know what it would be in this. I hazard to guess it's red looking at the back cover. It did in red, as you know, bleeds through really badly. But what really comes out of these books, these faucet books, is blue.
Yeah.
In fact, one of my videos more recently that I've been working on, you'll see that blue come right off that Captain Marvel 14.
That's when it's time to pull it. As soon as
30 seconds. That's all it usually gets.
Dylan's estimating with you, Larry, at 6.5. Jim is, I think you're right on the ball. I think that's the way to create the most value here, and probably why someone paid up for this book.
I think somebody was probably looking at
that, or it's just buy the book, not the grade. And they were just looking at this going, man, look at this thing. Where are you going to find a 4.5? I mean, I've seen 6s that look worse than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the front cover shows beautifully.
Yeah. Well, there it is. Another conserved key that sold very well.
Yeah.
And also, I think it somewhat maybe incongruously, it was well bought and well sold, in my opinion. It's well sold because to get 100% of Universal for a conserved book, you did very well. And also, I think the buyers got still meat on the bone. So, yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing the research for it. It's a fun book. I would love to own that.
Do you remember where it sold? Was it at Heritage?
Oh, yeah, it was Heritage. It was Heritage.
I just wanted to make the comment that I think that it's really impressive, given that this is a book where, as we were talking earlier, the cover is kind of like, it doesn't have Black Adam on it. You know, it's not like the worst cover, but it definitely could be a little more exciting. So especially in the market now where we're seeing a little bit of a downtrend, on books, even Golden Age books, even first appearance books, that's a pretty strong price, because this could have also gone for like $1,400 or $1,500, like some people guessed, and they wouldn't have been far off from what I think is realistic on a book like this with a cover like this.
It's a strong sale.
Yeah,
especially being conserved, so it had a lot going against it, I guess.
Yeah, and also, like we said, it's not an especially rare book in Golden Age circles. If there's 150 copies in the census, that's not a difficult book to run down. Typically, I'm chasing All-Star. There's a few issues of All-Star that have fewer than 30 copies in the census. I think number 52 has like 27 copies in the census. Right. So that's not a rare book at all. And I'm not talking about an obscure book. I'm talking about a DC, mainstay. So it's a book that has supply in the marketplace, is my point. So that'd be another reason why you could see it selling low potentially. Right. So it's great to see conserved books sell strong. And
yeah,
I hope everybody enjoyed that. I enjoyed putting it together, enjoyed doing the research around it.
Great pick.
And, I don't know if we have any mid-segment comments or thoughts, or Captain Marvel was sold way better than Superman. I think it, like this, the Golden Age stories. Okay, early Golden Age, when Superman is still actually kind of a little bit pulpy, when Simon and Schuster still had like a gumshoe type feel with the reporting that Lois and Clark were doing, and he wasn't super powered up yet. He was just leaping and breaking through walls. I think that stuff's really quite good. And then later Golden Age, I think it's not as good, frankly. That's just my opinion. I think during that period, Captain Marvel is just the better book. So it doesn't shock me that it sold better during that period.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. So, Phil, you put together a segment for us that I'm actually really excited to see.
I think it's funny. I wish I had more photos.
It could have been our thumbnail book for sure. Like, it would have been a lot of fun to have this as the thumbnail.
Yeah, I think so too.
Hey everyone, just as a thing, if you're watching along and you haven't given a thumbs up yet, and you like the content or you like us or for whatever reason, give us that thumbs up. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It helps get the video out to other people that may have not seen it yet. And on that note, hey, isn't this a cool book? Man, I've owned a couple copies of this. I don't currently own a copy, and which I think is dumb. I think a book like this is comparable to original art, even though it isn't, a one-of-one piece. It still is just such a classic early Batman cover. And the reason I didn't show this is because, man, this book was so beat up. But I remember vividly working on it, and even finishing it, I was like, I don't want to show this. I'm just going to just sell it and move on. And I had other books to show at the time. But now I view it and I was like, I got enough content to show a little segment here. And more so, despite this book, because me and my dad were making fun of this, I remember when I was finishing it.
I would too.
It still is what it is, and I just wanted to show this as a point to show just how far you can push some things. Even if a book is totally wrecked, you can still salvage something, and for lack of a better phrasing, you can indeed polish a turd. So this is one of those.
Now, Phil, is this one? Is this a client book or one of your own?
So this was purchased by me back, maybe 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Right at like the crux of when I was still working on my portfolio of client books and still getting bigger books to work on. I hadn't worked on any substantially large books, but I was having a lot of fun and experience going through and buying a book like this for, I think at the time, I could probably pull up the eBay thing. It was probably like $1,000 or $1,500 or something where I was like, any bump, even conserved, I'll make some money flipping this. I'll save it. I'll remove the tape.
Well, it's a Joker cover too. It's got to be one of the earliest Joker covers too.
So I'm glad you said that. I actually did just a little bit of research here myself, because I like to pride myself, but there is so many titles and so many books and so much that comes in and out. It's hard to remember all of the details. But on this third note that I'll get to in like 20 seconds, so real quick, this was published June, July of 42. So this book's over 80 years old. Man, 80-plus-year-old Batman and Joker cover with playing cards. This is
it's a phenomenal cover.
It really is.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's obviously, and for good reason, noted as a classic Joker cover. And not only that, of the first 50 issues of Batman, it's one of only 6 covers that have Joker. Which just kind of goes to show, if you look at some of those covers, you're like, they have Batman on like those like 1890s bikes, Batman and Robin riding the bike. Like they decided that over a Joker cover. It was a different time, and it goes to show how they kind of underestimated their own characters.
Well, that was still the campy Joker period too. He wasn't like a murderous villain. He was just kind of a clown.
Yep. It's like right at his inception he was, and then within a year or two they flipped. And then it wasn't for another couple decades. So this was right on that precipice before. Yeah. So it's really the first, it's in my opinion, of these first 6, it's the best one.
So it's the first cover of Joker in Batman. It's the third Joker cover overall. Yeah. That said, his first cover appearance, it's difficult to even see that it's the Joker. Right, he's kind of in the background. I think this is his first great cover.
Paul, your audio is kind of cutting in now.
Yeah, I thought it was me, but it's Paul.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
There you go. Yeah. Much better.
So it's his first cover in Batman. It's his third overall cover. He has 2 covers in Detective prior to this. His first cover, though, he's in the background, and it's really not a great cover. His second cover in Detective is also not a great cover. I think this is his kind of first great cover.
Yep. I think undervalued for a long time. When I bought this, even, I was like, this book's I can't believe I'm getting this for this cheap. Entry level price should be higher. And lo and behold, now, less than 5 years later, it is really. You want to get a 1.5 Universal of this, it's still going to cost you like $3 or $4 grand, which is not nothing. So on to that, this copy.
Whoa.
This copy was rough. It was rough. And I wish I had more photos. I think I even deleted some, because as I was doing it, I was like, I was on one hand disappointed with how it was coming out, but in hindsight, I did salvage this.
I want a tetanus shot from looking at it.
Oh, you want to see some more? So here's what it looked like on the inside. This thing was waterlogged, and you could see evidence. Look on the left side there. You can see where someone removed the tape and just pulled out. So this has been taped for a very long time. Yeah. Multiple layers of tape. You can see on the right side the cover's reattached with tape. The staples got some rust.
It's beastly.
And you know what else? It's great.
Oh, I would take this in 2 seconds. I love this
book.
I would jump all over this.
So good. Hi, Rick. Welcome to the show. And then AG says, might be the best Golden Age Joker cover. I can't think of a better one.
No, because he's still got that classic look, like the splash panel right here is. He's got that classic Joker look, not the modern Joker look, which I prefer the classic Joker look.
If you've got a candidate for a better Golden Age cover than this, let us know. But I'm with AG on this.
The one where it's coming out of
from the lamp. At least from my recollection. Say again, Phil?
The one where he's coming out, it's been heavily redrawn by modern artists. The one where he's like coming out of the lamp and he has I think he has 2 guns or 1 gun.
Is it a lamp or is it a Jack Lantern box or something?
It's Detective. Jesus, I should know this. It's Detective Comics. Why am I blanking on which issue number it is? I should know this. 69. Detective 69. If you see it, you'll be like, that one.
He's like a genie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because there's the genie, the genie one, yeah.
Like Aladdin, like Aladdin's lamp, kind of.
So this, as far as I remember, this was mostly just kind of surface dirt. It wasn't really.
It looks like mold, fungus,
but there was definitely some level. I can only say that because even at the time, the books I was working on, I never dipped into books that I saw had obvious mold. I would just keep them in a bag, and I ended up really never even working on many because I was freaked out by the mold. It kind of was.
That's a good thing to be freaked out by. I don't work on moldy books either.
I think this one it looks a little worse than it actually was in terms of that. But certainly there was probably a little bit there, but enough for me to condone handling and cleaning it. So here's what it looked like front and back. So layers of tape, cover reattached, spine roll.
Well, looking at the tape, the residual staining from it really isn't there, except when it was taped the first time at the Staples.
Yeah.
So I would say this was taped not horribly long ago.
So part of it was like on the back cover that it looks a little more modern. The tape was layered too.
Yeah, so I could see it. There's tape under tape.
Whatever the tape was on the front cover on the perimeter was like some of the oldest tape. Unfortunately, we always hope that the oldest is on the inside cover, but
it's funny. I was always so scared to take tape off. Now I don't. It doesn't bother me.
So this is, I wish I had more photos, but just to kind of this is how this book was going, right? I removed the tape, and as I'm removing it, I'm like, man, this, even at the time, I had a good amount of experience removing it, and I was like, this is just pulling the top layer of the paper off everywhere. And I was like, this is real bad. So just to put this into context, the image on the left there that you see is after I worked on taking the top layer of paper like you see on the right image there. So this is what happened, right? The image I don't have because it looked so bad. I was like, no one should look at this. I was looking at it and I was like, oh my God. And not only that, right? So just to paint the picture, it looked worse than that. I had all the scrap of tape there in my trash bin. And I was it was this moment where I was like, if I'm going to accept it, this is what the book's going to look like. And I was like, this looks terrible. I removed the tape, but at what cost?
When you can't get that off of the backside of the tape. It's like bonded.
For whatever reason, I was like, you know what though? This, like, I can do this. It's just going to take a lot of time. And if you look at the picture on the left there, almost all of the art I reapplied. It was all of that paper, almost all of it was stuck to tape like you see there. And I'm not even kidding, like almost all of it. I even remember like the entirety of the yellow of Robin's cape, all of the black of the playing cards and stuff. What I had to do was puzzle piece. I had to go back through and then say, oh, this piece of tape was here. So this is where this is, after I had already taken and thrown it all away. And then I had to go back through, remove the tape from the carrier, reapply it to the cover, and then scrape away the adhesive. So it was daunting. It took me like 12 hours to do this afterwards. And I was looking at me like, this thing is still a wreck, but it looked way better than it would have looked otherwise. Because if I didn't do that, it would have just, Well,
you were committed at this point. I mean, you really didn't have a choice.
Yeah. So there was more pictures, but I erased them, but that's what I had. But this is what it ended up coming out like.
Okay.
It's before and after. So hey,
let's see it.
It's got some issues. It's certainly it's not winning any beauty pageants, but at least
the tape is gone.
The tape's gone.
Your eye doesn't say, oh my God, all this art on the perimeter is missing, which it was. So
I think it looks better. And that's saying something, because I think most folks would concede that to get rid of the tape, you're probably going to have to suffer some damage. But I think it just looks better.
Oh, it definitely looks better.
Now the front cover. Now I think it would be very generous to be saying the same on the back. That's just
you lost a lot of red, but that's okay.
Yeah. I even looking back at the scan, it's been years. I was like, oh yeah, I remember looking at that little piece of like rope on the border of the bottom panel there and being like, I was like, I think this is actually from a little higher up, but I can cheat and put it here and fill in the art there. And who's going to know? I mean, it's going to be conserved anyway. This was also at a point just before CGC changed their standards. So I was able to add in piece fills traditionally instead of.
Yeah, today you'd have to leaf cast that today.
Exactly. So I was able to kind of get that under their conservation umbrella at the time, and at least it was put back together. Now I wish I had some more pictures showing the front cover where at least it's naturally attached with the staples instead of attached with tape. But what I was able to at least find, I think it's the next slide, so I don't want to show it. Let's just take a guess if anyone's watching. What do you think? This was a 0.5 universal. So I submitted this to CGC, and it was before the time where they had the scans uploaded. I was able to find a very small picture that I did have, but I have the creator's notes anyway. But what do you think this came back at?
Okay, it's conserved.
It's conserved. I'm gonna give you a 2.5.
That's
okay.
That's my guess as well. My range on this is
complete, yes.
2 to 3. I wouldn't be shocked though if somebody told me it was a 3.5, but my guess is 2.5, and my range is 2 to 3.
Our audience is looking at on average looks like a 1.5 to 2.5.
Yeah, that's the
most
range.
Everybody's saying 1.5.
I think that's reasonable. I want to be totally transparent. There is definitely so consider that even though it's complete, this book was waterlogged. It's got staining, water damage. This was also from a time I can admit my pressing wasn't as refined as it is now. So maybe, this wasn't technically flattened as well as it could have been despite.
Do you still own this book?
No, this book was sold short. I mean, at this time I was doing work on books and I was selling them within as soon as I could get them back from CGC. Yeah. So I found a picture, the only picture I still had in a group, and I had to just crop it of just this one picture. So so
I think you're trying to ease us off our 2.5.
I remember myself being like 2.5, please.
And I think maybe I'm thinking about it structurally, but the fact that you have a lot of lost,
there's a lot missing
material, lost actual art back here, it is making that a high number. But I'm not gonna change it based on what you said.
I'm sticking with 2.5.
All right, let's do a drum roll.
I need to spend some time. Actually, StreamYard has a soundboard, and I haven't figured out how to use it yet. It's new features. So soon, I'll put some time into it. We'll come up with that drum roll soon.
Hey, I just want to say I'm proud of this. I'm proud of this. I think turd is a harsh word. I don't think it's fair to call this that. But it is. This is
that's not a turd.
I'm proud of polishing this book.
Even a 1.0 conserved on this, I think, is a win. Both.
Yeah.
Well, I standpoint of conservation, but also in terms of equity, I think a 1.0 conserved would be an equity step up.
It's got no more tape on it. For what it's worth, it can't get worse, right?
Yeah,
it's like
I had a similar one with an Avengers 4 that cap cover, and it came back at a 3.0, which really surprised me. But it was the same level of tape, but it was a different period.
Yeah,
because I was going to say too, you also have to consider all of the tape on this inside cover pulled all the text off. All that text is gone.
Oh yeah, it comes right off.
So think of that too.
Also for the people at home that don't have experience removing tape, this was taped on. It was wrapped around both sides, which makes it extremely difficult to remove using any solution because you can't get the solution under there because it's basically clamped in between that tape. And it's very, very time consuming.
Yeah.
In order to even have the chance of saving the color on the front, all of this color on the inside is basically fucking compromised. So
sure.
That said, on to the disappointment. On to the disappointment. Bump, bump,
1.5. Okay.
I was like, the covers reattached, all the papers there, just missing art, and I was like, you know what? I don't have time to haggle. I got to sell this book and beyond. And I was like, this is crazy. At least a 1.8. Come on, it's crazy.
Well, I want to ask you how it sold, but did you at least get some money back, or did you lose?
Oh, I remember at this time I had bought several copies of this book, and I was making at least $1,000 on every copy. I mean, my hourly rate on this was probably crap, but I got a lot of experience out of it, and I learned a lot. And everything, so,
all right.
This book could have been pressed probably better. That may have been the 1.8 is the press, but even still, I was like, man, come on, it's not like a big chunks taken out of the corner, and I was like, but it's a heavily waterlogged, worn, like it's got some issues. You know,
after you walked us back and pointed out that the interior stuff is missing, I think this is fair.
Yeah. But at least it was,
again, I stuck with the 2.5 because I was like, I don't want to, back off because you're backing me off. But after considering those things, my brain kind of recalibrated to 1.5 to 2. So just fair.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, I was happy enough to figure that I could show it everyone. Well,
look at it this way: it's better than a 0.5.
Oh yeah, way better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or just a 1. I'd be like, I mean, a 1.5 is a little, but a 1 really would have been.
Well, once again, you also saved the book. I mean, that tape was going to destroy the book.
I would say most of the time, the biggest profit you can make is in the experience.
I could proudly say now, if I redid this now, I would have prevented the moment when I had all the tape in the trash bin. And I would have already known that I could reapply this, and I would have been able to save just a little bit more color. That would have made just maybe a little bit more difference in the overall eye appeal, because that's something now that I am like, you always at least make the attempt. If the carrier's there and you have the paper underneath, you at least try for it. It's only in the most severe instances when you're like, this is congealed. There's nothing to take up. It's just it's done. So.
Well, and also you pointed out that possibly you'd have a better press on it today. AG wants to know what you think your ceiling today would be.
It's tough on this. I think reasonably a 1.8 probably makes sense. I mean, maybe a 2, but I think there's just...
it's hard to get past the missing material.
Yeah.
There is. And I mean, I suppose in some way the grader's notes could tell a little bit maybe, and it does say the creasing to the cover.
Yeah.
That could be enough, that could have been the difference.
Yeah, but also, you don't know that they're not talking about creases that aren't pressable, right? It doesn't say like light bends and those things are pressable. Creases aren't necessarily. It occurs to me also, the other thing is the book got brighter when I'm presuming you did a solvent bath. The whites are a little brighter here. Yeah. That said, if I know your work, this is a period during which you were not using an aqueous bath or doing anything to lighten colors other than what does happen naturally. They do note staining. Now, the staining is most likely from this tape.
Oh, certainly.
That
they're talking about. So there's probably nothing really to be gained with an aqueous bath either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the surface level of the paper was so compromised. You're probably just going to pull color. You're going to put it in, and you're just going to see that bath not just turning dirty. It's going to be like, if you watch Larry's last video on his Captain Marvel segment, he really illustrates the color coming out, or at least how to keep an eye for seeing the color coming out. In this sense,
did we talk about the odor of this book? Did you mention that it was odoriferous? Or is Jim just assuming so?
Well, I think that's an assumption, because these books are really acidic, and the smell coming off of them can be horrible. But with an aqueous bath is where you're going to notice it.
Yeah.
Do you want to know a little chemistry aside here that's kind of fun? The smell of old paper that we like?
Mm-hmm.
That smell...
Oh, yeah.
Matt Nelson
love that smell.
Matt Nelson actually has that. People like to say about him, he smells. And then he does, I smell, when he opens the books. But that said, I don't know if anybody knows the chemistry behind why we like that smell, but the lignin goes through a series of chemical decomposition things, the ultimate result of which is vanillin, or at least some of which becomes vanillin. And so you're actually smelling basically kind of a vanilla flavor, which is one of the reasons why you like that. And it does come from the lignin breakdown, which is why if anybody has any manuscripts from like the 1600s or 1700s, those are.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them over here.
I mean, so I actually do have.
That doesn't surprise me.
I have a paper. I have a few things from the early 1800s before pulp paper that were made from rag paper, and they don't have that smell because cotton doesn't have the lignin content that doesn't go through this series of hydrolysis and oxidative processes that result in some amount of the lignin becoming vanillin. So that literally only comes from paper from like the 1850s/1870s onward. I don't know. Fun, hopefully fun little aside, nerdy little aside.
I still smell my books, even though I'm like, this isn't good when I'm smelling. I'm like, give me that acid hydrolysis.
Well, I have some, especially doing the aqueous bath. Some of them are very pungent.
Yeah,
that's a good word.
It smells like ass mixed with rotten eggs.
This book here certainly had a pungent smell to it. You can almost smell it just by looking at it.
Yeah.
It's very generous. It's a nice way to put it.
I mean, I like to say they're working on it. If you think comic collectors are bad with personal hygiene, try attending a competition for Magic the Gathering. That's all I have.
That's where you were going with that immediately.
There it is. Thanks for sharing. This is an amazing book. That was an amazing job.
That's cool. Yeah.
I love this cover, and I do think it's. I can see that Tech 69 cover in my mind's eye. It is cool. It does feature the Joker more prominently. But I really like this cover over that one myself personally.
Well,
so I do think this is for me the best Joker cover in the Golden Age.
Yeah, it was funny we were talking about that Tech 69 with the genie cover.
Mm-hmm.
Richard, when we were at the Collector Summit last year, I was ready to pull the trigger and buy one from him. We pulled it out, looked at it. Somebody had clipped the back of it
had a chunk. It was almost like a quarter of the back cover was
square. It was like that. Yeah. And he didn't know about it either. And I said, I'm gonna pass on that, Richard.
Yeah. He of Bedrock Comics.
Yeah, Bedrock Comics. I'm sorry, I should have prefaced that.
No, that's okay. Well, we'll be seeing him. We'll be seeing him soon.
We'll be seeing each other soon.
Maybe that book will still be in his inventory, and you can try to get it for a better price.
I don't want it when it's missing a piece of the cover like that.
We could leaf cast it.
Yeah, I could, but it has to be a lot less money than he was asking for. Well, he was asking full price as though it was complete. So he might have fucked it. I don't know. Let's see. Well, the thing is I got my eye on the ball for Planet Comics. There's a couple that Lone Star has that I'm hoping they'll bring, and I may squeeze the trigger on one of the really expensive ones. I'm working on the low numbers right now, so like under 10, and those are pricey.
Those are big boy and girl.
Yeah, number one's a real big boy book. That's a 5.
How many of the Rivet copies
20
you have?
How many do I own?
Yeah. Do you know?
There's only 22 Rivet copies, and I own
Rivet.
7. I own 7
Rivet issues.
I have 7. I have 7 of the 22, so I have about a third of them.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, I got 5, 6, 7. Those are really low numbers.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, there's so many different ways to have fun in the collecting world. So many games within the game. I love it.
Well, you're the one that got me hooked on the registry.
I mean,
with your All-Star. You see, you're just Larry, just pick something. I go, oh, Planet Comics pretty cool.
Man.
So now it's turned into an addiction.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Y'all know that I just got a copy of Star Spangled Comics #1 because it's a points book for the Golden Age DC first appearances, which I'm the points leader for in the registry, but not by much. It's actually a really tight race with a few other gentlemen. I'd love to say ladies, but there just aren't any in there, but hopefully someday. That said, I want to say, and this is a good illustration of it, I like them all. And you can have a ton of fun with a book like this that maybe isn't quite a dollar bin book. Maybe in low grade, this is something you could find in the dollar bins. You need probably a little bit of luck. But I love this. I love it all, really. I'm actively collecting the Golden Age stuff now because it's the, oh my goodness. How do we get rid of that?
You know what? That's actually kind of
somebody's spamming our chat. You need to cut that off.
Guys, we're somebody now. We got someone spamming our comments.
Yeah, cool. We're important.
We made it. We that's how you know we made it.
Yeah. PK says I need to get the rest of the LB Cole cover, the Classics Illustrated Junior covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, stuff like that. Pick something and chase it. It's fun. Well, with that, maybe we should say thanks again to our sponsors for this episode. They are, as you recall, Collecting Chaos, Don Carter, Salesboy Comics, and the Archivist Adrift. Also, thank you to our super sticker donators of this episode who will be sponsoring next episode. They are Collecting Chaos and Salesboy Comics, who says, keep it moist. I'm going to say thank you to everyone who joined us live. Thank you to everyone watching us later. Thank you to my co-hosts, Phil and Larry. And until next time, take care of one another.
See you guys later.